Along with Kris Pursiainen, I'm Colin Loughran. We're pleased to be joined by Fordham Men's Basketball head coach Keith Urgo, just days away from the start of their regular season against the Wagner Seahawks on Monday, November 6th. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. You guys just ended practice. How was it as we're heading into the season?
Practice was good. It's kind of getting into the last days of preparation for, the start of the season, right? And when you have a little bit more inexperienced, I'm not going to say young, but an inexperienced group, we've got to continue to get better every single day. And that's probably going to be the case all the way through March, right? We can get better at something every day. We've got to continue to do that. But all in all, the effort, the energy, the togetherness, it's coming along nicely because of our leadership and Kyle Rose and Antrell Charlton and Will Richardson. They're really holding this group together, and they want to do something special. So they understand how important every day is to come in with a great mindset. So I'm grateful for that.
Coach, coming into this season, we talked to Khalid Moore over the summer, and DQ also successful overseas right now. Obviously, hard to replace those.
Yeah.
Those are large shoes, right? But you guys have so much talent now at the 3-4 spot, whether it's Ramad Dean or Jameer Tripp. Dean was here last year. Tripp, a new face. Josh Rivera, another new face. How do you feel about that 3-4 spot right now? Do you think it's going to be one of those platoon situations where you're giving a lot of different guys looks to start the year?
Yeah, there's no question. All of those guys have worked their tails off to get to where they're at now, and all of them have improved dramatically. And when you talk about replacing guys like Darius Quisenberry and Khalid Moore and Roslav Nowitzki and Patrick Kelly, it's not necessarily the offensive production. It's more of the leadership, right? It's more of the experience. Those guys were not just 23 years of age or older, but they were also in their fifth year. And they had been through the wars and the battles, the day-to-day grind that a full season is. So it's not necessarily their production. We have a ridiculous amount of talent and athleticism, but coaches and players who have been doing this a long enough time, they understand that it's not about talent. When you have talent that gets to play as hard and together as Khalid, Darius, Pat Kelly, and Roslav were doing, now you have a chance to do something really special. But if you have talent that doesn't play as hard and together, well, you tend to fall on the wrong side of that final buzzer. So we just have to continue to improve day by day. These guys have done a pretty good job with their leadership and Kyle Rose and Antrell. So that's really the most important piece as we move forward. Leadership and experience.
Coach, at A10 Media Day, you noted the fact that this is a different team than the group you had last year because of that leadership and experience. But in some ways, if any, have you guys improved?
Yeah, we've improved in a number of different areas. Our depth is really impressive, and our athleticism, our speed, and our ability to get out and run is very, very, very fun for us. But with an older group, and we hang our hat on our defensive intensity and our togetherness. Defending and rebounding is something that we take a lot of pride in. And, with younger groups or inexperienced groups, they tend to forget that every single possession matters. And it doesn't matter if it's the first or the last. There's only one possession that could cost you a basketball game. So that's something we're learning every single drill, every single rep, and that'll continue to be the process throughout the entire year.
Coach, the A10 tournament in Barclays last season, obviously, for you to look back on with how competitive you are, I'm sure your first reaction is it wasn't the result you wanted, but I'm an optimist myself, and I know my good friend Colin here is a bit of the same. What are takeaways that you have from that tournament that this team can learn from this year, that even the guys who weren't with the rest of the squad, someone like, whether it's Medor or Tripp, older or younger, people who weren't there, what can they take away from that tournament? What can the Fordham Rams bring to the table this season that because of that experience?
Honestly, from a basketball standpoint, there's not a whole lot because it's a completely different team that we have this year. However, the guys that experience that, they want to get back there again. So their motivation to not just get back there, but to be playing on that Sunday, that's really driven guys like Will, guys like Abdu, Colin Antrell, and some of the other returners. But, for us, what we can take away is the pride that the Fordham student body, the Fordham alumni base, that they took in what we were able to accomplish, and knowing that the fan base is incredibly strong and passionate, knowing that we're about to start a season here Monday night that we've seen Rose Thrill packed to the gills and energy and excitement, understanding what that has the ability to help us do. 18-0 at home last year, best home court advantage in the entire country. We won more games at home than any other Division I team in the country. If that's not pride, if that doesn't show our fan base, we need to have you in there every night, and your energy can push us over the top. These guys are working really hard. So what we learned is really about how passionate Fordham basketball truly is, and guys that want to be a part of this program want to get back in front of that type of crowd. They know it's possible. They want to see it. It's bringing high-level recruits to campus. It's got these guys who are here now being driven and working towards trying to please everybody that steps on the floor. They want to represent Fordham University with great pride. And we take great pride in playing for the name on the front. So if that fan base continues to show up and show out, I'm really excited to see what we can accomplish here.
About 3,500 Fordham-affiliated fans at that first game at Barclays. So definitely the numbers back up what you're talking about, Coach.
Yeah.
And your guys will get their first chance to show up in front of those fans on Monday. How ready are they to get going with this season?
Yeah, you know what? These guys have been chomping at the bit. We've been here since May 30. They got about a couple of weeks off in May, came back May 30th. We were grinding all summer long, got about 3 weeks off in August, and we've been getting after it ever since. So, they're excited to start playing on a regular basis, every couple nights against someone else other than themselves. We're excited to just get in that routine of preparing and scouts and the day-to-day grind that is the college basketball season. So we're all excited to get going and see what we can accomplish. But we got a long way to go from here until Monday, and then Monday till March. So we're just enjoying the process, honestly.
A long way to go indeed. That's Fordham Men's Basketball head coach Keith Urgo. You can follow the team all season long on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.